What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be watching something that should be hopefully very educational and informative at the same time. We will be reviewing how to become a hyperpolyglot genius fast, #limitless. Oh god, I tried to pull it off. I tried to keep it serious. Okay, I'm assuming #limitless is in reference to the famous Hollywood movie with the same name, which is actually a really good movie. I enjoyed it, except for the fact that the language sequences aren't actually that good. So hopefully that's not like foreboding for this video itself. They also released a TV show, also not that great. So let's watch this video and see what this guy's got to say.
Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you spoke 20 languages?
Okay, this is either going to be satirical or it's not going to be satirical. Let's find out. And that facial expression, Jesus, I just hit that at the right time now, didn't I? 20 languages. Well, I'll tell you right now, I haven't really imagined that because it's not really possible for me.
Think about it. All the people you could speak to, all the opportunities and the doors it could open, all the places you could travel to.
God, this is already looking like one of those used car salesman ads. Have you ever imagined owning your own Porsche? Trust me, buy one today and all the women, they'll be suckling off your nipples.
And actually connect with the local people. How healthy, active.
What the hell's going on in this stock footage? Male, we've got his skeleton, some DNA over there. I don't know what they're doing with his brain. Apparently they're analyzing it. But this guy, he does not look impressed about the fact that they're analyzing his brain. Maybe this is the secret. Maybe we just need to get this juby whacker and put it on our head.
And sharp your brain would be. How much of a genius you would be considered among your peers.
I'm going to tell you right now, you would not be considered a genius by me. Most likely what would happen is you would end up on a thumbnail on my YouTube channel and I'd be farming you for content.
Who knows? You might find love like I have.
Wait, if you learn 20 languages, you might find love like he has? Okay, well, I must have done it pretty good because I found love with just one language.
Radically different your life would be. I mean, you could literally live 20 different lives. Visualize it. And what if I...
Okay. No, it's not working.
I told you, you could actually learn all of those languages in just 10 years. Is Limitless your favorite movie because...
Of course, it is Limitless. I was so right.
It inspires you.
The reason I was so right is because Limitless is actually referenced a lot by a lot of bullshit YouTube channels out there. Not just language ones, but you'll find like #limitless and then you'll get like pretty much the same type of content as this. I still don't know if this is satirical or not.
It motivates you to become more intelligent so that you could achieve
Limitless doesn't motivate you to become more intelligent. Limitless tells you that if you get the right drug, you take it, it's going to open up all your syntaxes, you're going to have access to all the knowledge from history that you've ever like encountered in some random scenario. You're going to use that knowledge and you're going to lay some bitches.
Everything you desire. Learning languages is one of the best ways to increase your intelligence and making use of your brain power.
Learning languages doesn't necessarily increase your intelligence. I would say that's not true.
In today's video, I will share with you a great secret, which is very simple, yet very powerful. First
Okay, here we go, guys. Are we ready?
of all, who am I? My name is Matt, I'm Canadian, and at 17 years old, I could only speak one language, which was French, being French-Canadian, but I made the decision to improve my English and learn Spanish.
Improve his English, so he's not a native English speaker.
I thought, in North America, it could only be a good thing to speak very good English and Spanish. Duh. But I would have never expected that 7 years later, I would be speaking 7 languages very well and 7 others at a beginner.
Wait, you said imagine speaking 20 at the beginning. Now you're talking about 7 that you speak really well and then 7 at a beginner level, which, let me count. Pretty sure that's 14.
Level. So yeah, you could say 14. I made 9 videos.
Apparently I can do math.
So far of me speaking in the languages that I learned. You can judge for yourself if I speak well.
Oh, I was just gonna say like, I'll go check out your channel then. Let's do a judgment. But unless he speaks the languages I know, I won't be able to give a judgment. But feel free, guys, in the comments section below to give a judgment on his various languages.
Bom dia, galera. Tudo bem? Buona mattina, buongiorno, buonasera, amici miei. Guten Morgen, guten
Oh, so we're just gonna get one sentence in each language, okay?
Tag, guten Abend, meine liebe deutschsprachigen Freunde. Здравствуйте, привет, мои дорогие русскоговорящие друзья.
Maybe don't just stare at the camera next time. Like, show him some emotion. Add some emotion to these words.
Привет, вітаю, мої.
I love how Ukrainian just gets like the raw friggin' music. Everyone else is just like no background music, and then it's like Ukraine is like, go!
Українські друзі. Cześć. Dzień dobry, dobry wieczór. Jó reggelt, jó napot, jó estét kívánok. Sziasztok.
Okay, guys. Go wild in the comment section. Let me know how good he is.
Salut, bună dimineața, bună ziua, bună seara. Tjena,
Okay, so basically it looks like we've just got Indo-European languages.
hallå, god morgon, god kväll. This is my YouTube channel where I want to do three things. Number one, inspire people to learn a foreign language. Number two, broaden your horizon to learning languages which you would have never thought of before.
To learning languages which you never would have thought of before. I'm not sure what that statement means. Do you mean like, I would never have imagined learning languages before? Or do you mean like, languages that I never would have imagined that I would have learnt before? Because at the moment, you've just hit the Indo-European family, basically.
And number three, give tips on how to go about it. In my first years of learning languages, I unconsciously unlocked something, but I was totally unaware of it. This is the secret. If you want to learn a high number of languages in a time span of 5 to 10 years and
5 to 10 years, okay.
boost that number, you need to learn key strategic languages.
Let me guess. We're going to pick one language from each language family. Correct me if I'm wrong. One language from each language family, and then from there, we're going to step outwards, right?
Let me repeat that. Key strategic languages. Languages that will open you the doors to
Open you the doors? Did I hear that right? Whatever.
many others, which will then be a lot faster and easier to learn. And will give you a major head start. Quick disclaimer though, this video is not about my strategy to learn a language from zero, my tips and techniques to learn grammar, vocabulary. That's gonna be the topic for my next video. It's more of a blueprint, a game plan. So here's what I would do if I were you. I would start by learning 3 languages. 1 Latin, 1 Germanic, and 1 Slavic.
Wow. How did I guess that?
Matt, why those 3 language families? Because
I know, Matt. Is it because they represent the majority of languages that are spoken within the Western world?
they're big, they have a lot of languages in them. And in those 3 language families, I would start with the one with the most native speakers, and then the second with the most, and then the third, and so on. I would go with this order because they're going to be the languages you'll get the most chances of practicing. So here's what I would do. Learn Spanish, learn German, and learn Russian.
Oh, well, that's pretty obvious why he chose those ones. Although I'd probably be a rebel and start with Latin.
Yeah, for the Germanic language family, English is the most spoken language, but if you're watching this video, I guess you already speak English. Those 3 languages are going to be the foundation. So it's extremely important that you go hard, that you give
Okay, so we just got to master 3 languages in order to set the foundation. Okay, easy enough.
your best, that you don't quit, and that you go through the difficulties. Would you build your house on a weak foundation?
Okay, it's a hell of a foundation. This is like the foundation to a skyscraper.
Seriously, come on. Of course not. See it like this. Spanish opens you the doors.
Opens you the doors? Okay, unless I'm wigging out right now, and this is this some type of weird Canadian English? Because we don't say opens you the doors here. Okay, now I remember at the beginning of this video, he said he was Canadian, and then he said he was learning English. Like, I just assumed everyone in Canada, yeah, I'm calling it Canada now, everyone in Canada moving forward, I just assumed everyone there actually also spoke English, and then there was a part of the population that also natively spoke French. I did not actually think there was people who were not native English speakers, which kind of blows my mind, because that's like new knowledge to me. But like, is that something you guys say there? Is this some weird Canadian English?
To Portuguese, French, Italian, and Romanian. So, 4 new languages with Spanish. German opens you the doors to Dutch, Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, and Icelandic.
Oh, easy. So easy. All you guys got to do is pick, get your German done, get your freaking Russian done, and get your, I don't know, I'd go with Latin. But like Spanish in his case, and you guys are sweet. You just get the other languages.
So, 5 new languages with German. Russian opens you the doors to Ukrainian, Polish, Czech, Serbo-Croatian, Bulgarian, Slovak,
God, this has to be like satirical or something.
Slovene, Belarusian, and yeah, maybe Macedonian. So,
Yeah, just maybe. Chuck it in there, why not?
9 new languages with Russian. Seriously. If you just learn Spanish, German, and Russian, I swear to God, you can literally learn another 17 languages quite easily.
Okay, how many of you out there have already learnt the keystone languages? That is being Russian, Spanish, German, and then obviously like English, okay? So who here has already got good foundations? Put your hand up in the comment section. I can already say that I have failed. I do not have the foundations. I have not learnt German. I have not learnt Russian. And apparently my Spanish is still quite shit. So, and for some reason I wasted a lot of time on this other random language called Mandarin Chinese, but whatever.
Every linguist would agree. It's pretty common sense to be
Okay, every linguist agrees that you just get those keystone languages and you'll get the rest of them.
honest. And this is the amazing thing about it. Each language you
You know, the crazy thing is, like, this is actually not bullshit. Like, this is completely true. If you go learn, like, the biggest language in a language family, it will be easier to pick up the other languages as you go. But obviously, we all know that this is not just like you're walking down the road picking up Pokemon, you know? You can't just like, gotta catch them all type of thing. It's not like that. Like, there's still an insane amount of effort for each one of these languages.
learn in a family makes the next one a lot easier and faster to learn. The more languages you learn in a language family, the easier the rest becomes. You gain confidence, you believe in yourself.
And you gain so much confidence that you get a sick-ass beard and some sick-ass glasses.
And it does a snowball effect. Your fifth language in a specific family will be much easier than your first or your second. After
Good to know, good to know.
I learned Spanish, I was totally confident in myself that I could actually pull off to learn Portuguese. I mean, come on.
I like how it's just like a random photo with some dude and then like the Portuguese flag, and that's proof of Portuguese.
Think about it. If you speak C1 Advanced Spanish and you have a hard time understanding
Are you implying that you are C1 in these languages? It's a pretty high bar, my man.
Portuguese, there's a big problem, dude. If you speak B2 Upper Intermediate German and you see a text in Dutch and you cannot recognize any words,
Let me see if I can recognize any of this via Esperanto. Nope.
dude, there's a big problem. If you speak Russian and Polish and you find it impossible to learn Ukrainian, you're either really dumb or you simply just don't speak Russian and Polish.
I get what he's saying here. But my man, you are setting yourself up to be attacked.
That's it. So here's the plan for you guys. Every 2 years, you will learn 3 new languages.
Fucking hell. How much time do you guys have? I'm just gonna pick up 3 languages every 2 years. Like, who has that type of time?
I think it's realistic. I think it's doable. Anybody that
But you say you think it's realistic, it's doable, but you haven't actually done it yourself yet, man. Shouldn't you wait until you've got the 20 languages all mastered and then make this video?
ever studied at college or at university, I'm 100% sure they can pull it off. Yeah, but Matt, 3 languages. That's a lot. Yeah, I know. But those 3 languages, remember, are from completely different families. There's no way you can mix them up. They're
They're also got 3 completely different languages. This is gonna be hard.
completely different. So here's the plan. For the first 2 years, year 1 and year 2, you learn Spanish, German, and Russian.
Screw Spanish. Learn Latin, man. Do it properly.
And then for year 3 and year 4, you learn Portuguese, Dutch, and Polish. For year 5 and 6, you learn French, Swedish, and Ukrainian. For year 7 and 8, you learn Italian, Norwegian, and Czech. For year
Why is Italian all the way down there? Like, I would put Italian probably after Spanish, realistically, just due to the fact that, you know, it's more phonetical.
year 9 and 10, you learn Romanian, Danish, and Serbo-Croatian.
So what do you guys think about the language tier list of learnability,
So yeah, you're going to be at 15 languages, and the year after, the rest are pretty much Slavic languages, smaller languages, and yeah, you can take your time to learn.
I wonder if this guy's spoken with our Brazilian polyglot friend about the Slavic languages.
Slovene, Slovak, and so on. Now, before going further to my best tips, I want to be 100% clear on the following. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon.
I'm going to say right now, I'm pretty sure this is a sprint. Now, I know you're saying this is a marathon because it's over 10 years, it's 20 languages, whatever. I'm pretty sure this is a sprint that continues for 10 years. Like, bro, you gotta be some hardcore freaking language learner to pull this off.
Dude, who cares if it takes you more than 10 years? Or if you learn less than 20 languages? Honestly, how many people do you personally know that speak 20 languages? Come on.
Well, I've pretty much reviewed all of them on this channel, and let's just say it didn't go too well for them.
And please, this is a big one. Take the time to enjoy and appreciate each language.
But I don't have time. I've got to learn 3 in 2 years. How can I take the time to enjoy and appreciate it? Bruh, that's like, let's say I'm doing 2 hours per language each day, and that's a total underestimate. You'd have to do way more than that. But let's say 2 hours per day. I've already lost 6 hours of my life just trying to get those 3 languages, and I'm not even maintaining the ones I learned previously.
Each is so unique and rich. It can offer so many things. Beautiful places to discover, beautiful cultures, beautiful people to meet, amazing
I love how the cultures that he was like referencing there, like some of the cultures he was showing are actually not in the language list.
friendships, delicious food. Frankly, it isn't too much a matter of self-accomplishment or boosting your ego, nor is it about
What do you mean it's not about boosting your ego? Bro, you're basically whipping out your language e-penis right now. This is all about ego. There's no way you need 20 languages, okay? Just deal with a couple of languages, get them to a high enough level, and you're set. Like, I don't even need more languages. I got Mandarin, Chinese, Esperanto, and English. I'm playing around with Spanish, and once I've got that one, like, I'm pretty much set in most places around the world. I can get one of these languages to get by.
the number, but a matter of having more opportunities. Just one language
Opportunities to do what? You haven't clarified any of these opportunities. In fact, if we took all the time that you put 10 years into these languages, 6 hours, let's say minimum a day, but realistically a lot more, and you put that into programming with one language, you would be a friggin' programming genius by the end of this. You would be writing like insane software that would be just raking in the money and women. Like, you would not have to worry about all these different languages. Most of these languages, you go out on the street and you'd be like, hey man, I speak Slovak, and they'll be like, what the fuck type of language is that? Is that like some type of version of Klingon?
which can offer you so much, right? Imagine 20. So pretty much think big, have the bigger picture
I think you need to up your game, man. We're up to 40 nowadays.
in mind. When learning Spanish, German, and Russian, don't just think 3 languages, think 20. Be bold,
Think 20. Manifest that shit.
be open-minded, open up your horizon. So here are my 4 best tips to keep in mind before learning those languages. Tip number 1, never start learning 2 or 3 languages in the same family at the same time. For example,
You've already mentioned that.
starting to learn Russian, Polish, and Ukrainian at the same time. I remember recently I was learning Ukrainian, Polish, Czech, Serbo-Croatian, and Bulgarian all at the same time and from zero.
Привіт, вітаю. Як справи?
Cześć, jak się masz?
Ahoj, jak se máš?
Zdravo, kako si ti, kako ste?
Здрасти, здравей, как си?
Bad idea, dude. Tip number 2, if learning 3 languages at the same time, even though from 3 different families, is too overwhelming, then slack one. Just do 1 or 2 at a time. No problem.
Just do one. That seems like the normal thing to do.
Tip number 3, wait to reach at least B2 or C1.
Now, you're probably best off just learning one language at a time. But if you want to learn multiples, like I am, I'm learning Mandarin Chinese as well as Spanish, but like my Spanish is mainly just for testing a methodology. Pick at least a primary language, primarily focus on that one so you can see some form of progress, and when you get tired of that one, jump across to your secondary one as kind of a distraction from your primary.
In a language before moving on to another language in the same family. For example, let's say you reached A2 in Swedish. Don't jump to Norwegian just yet. Your foundation isn't solid enough. Tip number 4, avoid grammar at all costs, especially at the beginning. Try to be like a child.
Are you going to tell me to use comprehensible input to learn these languages, like just pure input? Because if you are, you've picked literally the slowest methodology. Now, there's nothing wrong with using this methodology, but as you already showed us, we're trying to do a sprint during the entire duration of a marathon. This is probably then like putting 2 bricks on your feet and then trying to pull off the sprint. This is not the best way to approach it.
Absorb it like a sponge. Don't study grammar tables. It's too complicated.
Yeah, obviously don't study grammar tables, but like study the basics of grammar to give yourself at least a foot in the door.
For Spanish, German, and Russian, do not get discouraged about, in Spanish, the 2 verbs to be, ser y estar, when to use por y para, for and per, the subjunctive and subjuntivo. For German, don't get discouraged with the grammar cases, the word order, okay? Take it as it is. And for Russian, the last thing you need to be intimidated by is the alphabet, okay? And do not get intimidated by the Russian grammar case system. It really isn't harder than German. Now, frankly, the only problem you might encounter when learning a lot of languages in the same family is that you might start to mix them up and confuse them, but
Not might, you will. That is 100% guaranteed. You will start mixing them up.
that is 100% normal. No problem. It's okay to do mistakes. For example, you've reached a really good level of Spanish and now you're ready to start learning Italian. You meet some Italians and by mistake, you use some Spanish words. Well, what do you think? The Italians are gonna think, that guy is pretty smart. He actually speaks Spanish. Yeah, so frankly, it's a double-edged sword.
Unless they're Metatron. Don't go around saying you speak 20 languages and then try to speak Italian, but basically just use Spanish with like Italian words slapped on top. You will appear on another thumbnail.
You know, in Polish, to say how are you informally to one person, you say jak się masz.
Jak się masz? Jak się masz? Jak się masz?
And in Czech, you say jak se masz. So if you speak Polish, obviously you're going to recognize it. But if they're not your native languages, you might start to say jak se masz in Polish and jak się masz in Czech. Totally legit. Those are called polyglot problems. Let me know down
Hashtag polyglot problems.
in the comments if you've ever had some. Hey Matt, what about Mandarin, Japanese, Korean,
Please speak about Mandarin, please. I so want to hear this.
Arabic? What about those languages, Matt? Yeah, fair question. My advice is, if you want to learn 20 languages in 10 years, don't learn those languages, okay?
So let's not learn Mandarin. But, okay, let me get this right. We're trying to open up opportunities at the moment. And so far, the only opportunities you've opened up are in the Western world. But we don't want to learn Mandarin because, well, obviously, it's a harder language. Obviously. But wouldn't that open up a shite ton more opportunities?
Don't learn Asian languages. Don't learn Arabic. Don't learn Finnish. Don't learn Hungarian. And
Okay.
here is the reason. These languages have no relatives. They're not similar to any other languages.
Oh, God.
They're pretty much alone in their own families. I mean, frankly, from what I've seen, Chinese, Korean, and Japanese are really different from each other. No way it's like
Because they're not in the same family, okay? This is like before, when you were giving your example, you said, pick a Germanic, a Latin. By the way, why did you say Latin? You should have said Romance. But, pick from these different families. Like, pick one from 3 families. Well, there you go. You got 3 families.
French, Spanish, and Portuguese. No way, no way. Plus, Arabic, Mandarin, Japanese, those are, beautiful languages, but still they're very hard. They're very complicated. And in my experience, they're so hard that...
Okay, so we're just going for quantity. Okay, cool. We're not going for actual opportunities now. We're going for quantity. Because realistically, if you learned Arabic, Chinese, and then, let's say, Spanish, your opportunities are going to be insanely bigger than if you learnt Polish. Sorry, Poles.
that learning Arabic would be the equivalent in efforts and time of learning, let's say, 4 languages that are related to each other. So really, it's 100% up to you. Do you want to learn only 5 or 6 really difficult, challenging languages, or learn 20 languages that are all
5 or 6 really difficult challenges? I don't even think that's something most people would pull off. There's a few polyglots online who have learnt like Chinese and Japanese type of thing. There's very few that have learnt to a very good level more than that of, you know, these very different families and that are very difficult to learn. But why is the quantity here so important? You've mentioned that we want opportunities, yet you seem to be aiming for quantity. And the languages that you're aiming for to up your number most of the time are not going to help in opportunities in many ways. Now, I'm not trying to shit on Polish or Ukrainian. Like, they're beautiful languages. If someone wants to learn them for whatever reason, go ahead and learn them. But if we're going for opportunities here, then your best bet is actually to try get a economically powerful language. And in that case, wouldn't you want to go for something like, say, Spanish, Chinese, you know, even Arabic? Like, that opens up the entire Middle East.
all really similar to each other. I mean, both options are legit. It's 100% up to you. However, it doesn't mean you can't learn them in the future. I mean, right now I'm
Yeah, just learn the 20, then you can go learn those ones.
focusing on Latin, Germanic, and Slavic languages.
Why does he keep saying Latin? They're not Latin, they're Romance languages.
But in the future, for sure I will study them all. Mandarin, Korean, Japanese,
Okay, so he's going to study them all. Okay, cool.
Arabic, Hebrew, Turkish, Persian, you name it. However, I am absolutely aware that I will start from scratch, from zero, and that they'll be really difficult and different from what I'm used to. All the Germanic, Latin, Slavic languages in the world.
If you want to make it easier for yourself, since you're already learning Russian, just slowly learn languages that head in the direction of China. And then you just keep picking up related languages as you go, and eventually, my man, you can just learn your way into Chinese.
Will never help me out. Remember, this video is
Wait, what did he just say then?
and that they'll be really difficult and different from what I'm used to. All the Germanic, Latin, Slavic languages in the world will never help me out. Remember,
That's technically not true, because there is obviously a lot of Western influence upon the Eastern languages.
this video is if you want to learn 20 languages in 10 years, not
But why 20? Why?
if you want to learn, let's say, 5 languages in 20 years, okay? I mean, it's written in the title, How to Become a Hyper-Polyglot Fast. So, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments where you're from, what languages you speak, and what languages you want to learn in the future. And for now,
My Discord must fucking hate me. What are you guys doing to me? You know what? Let's check out the comments. This video given me a lot of perspective, like it made me see the big picture. I do want to be a hyperpolyglot, yet I don't know if I should learn 20 similar languages or 5 isolated languages. Both options are great though. I can't believe people actually believe this stuff. You know, people always ask me, why do I make these reaction videos to these types of things? You know, obviously no one's going to believe this. You just got to look in the comments section. People actually believe this shit. Now, I went and checked out his channel, and he does have videos where he actually speaks these other languages, although not all of them. I think he only speaks about 6 of them. And it's pretty much as you would expect. It's a guy standing in front of a camera, monologuing without too much emotion, and there's a jump cut literally every 1 to 2 seconds after every pretty much main sentence. You can guess what's happening behind the scenes here. I don't really need to explain that in too much depth, but if you want to go look at it yourself, there will be a link in the description and pinned comment below. So what do you reckon, Elmo? You reckon we can pull off 20 languages in 10 years? You know, even if I was a full-time YouTuber with unlimited time and resources, there's no way I could do that. There's no way I can be learning like 3 languages in 2 years without like tearing out the last remaining follicles of hair sitting on my head. Now, maybe there is a few geniuses out there who are able to do that, but like, why are you trying to sell this to those geniuses? Because those very few select individuals, they know what they're doing. They've probably been doing this for like ever. You don't need to sell this idea to them. Now, the average man on the street, he ain't gonna be doing that. I'm sorry to say, and if somehow you found his video and then you found mine, return back to reality, my friend. Pick one language, focus on it, and trust me, you'll eventually get there if you practice every day and you actually grind hard at that language. And if you need actual inspiration, not bullshit inspiration, join our Discord. We've got plenty of people learning languages, probably the ones that you want to learn, and we will help you reach your goal, okay? That's pretty much all I want to say, and I'll see you all in the next video. And if you're not there, well then you may end up as the chicken in Elmo's next meal.